Welcome to the TerryWilson3.com podcast, where we help entrepreneurs and business owners unlock new strategies for growth, lead generation, and revenue expansion.
Well, I don't believe it.
In today's episode, we're diving into a powerful marketing approach that can transform the way you reach new customers.
You don't say.
Cold marketing to a demographically filtered list. Imagine having access to the right prospects with the right data at the right time.
Don't you lie to me.
How do you craft a message that cuts through the noise and gets results? How do you leverage text, email, phone, and direct mail to turn cold contacts into warm leads and paying clients?
Come on now.
The TW3 team is breaking it all down, giving you actionable strategies to put into play right away. Stay tuned. This is one episode you don't want to miss.
Attention business owners, entrepreneurs, and organizations. Are you looking to take your online presence to the next level? Look no further. For a limited time, Terry Wilson 3 is offering free high-end business websites to the first few lucky listeners who respond to this offer. These are not your average run-of-the-mill websites. Our websites are designed with SEO in mind, ensuring that your business stands out from the competition and generates leads like never before. Plus, each website comes equipped with an e-commerce shopping cart solution, making it easier than ever to sell your products online. But wait, there's more. For a nominal fee, you can add an AI chatbot to your website, providing your customers with instant support and increasing engagement. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Visit terrywilson3.com/hosting now to claim your free website while supplies last. Act fast, as this offer won't be around forever. Transform your business and start generating leads today with a high-end website from Terry Wilson 3. That's terrywilson3.com/hosting.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com, the home of TW3.
Man, that dude is crazy.
Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
What is going on? So I'm playing in the studio here today. This is episode 629. And I got my iPad out. I hadn't had my iPad out in a while. I'm going to be honest with you. My iPad for the last several years is nothing more than a glorified TV that rests up on my tummy when I go to bed at night with my headphones on. Now, that might be good. That might be bad. I don't know. But it basically is a glorified TV for me to watch Netflix, Hulu, one of the streaming services on something I'm watching. But anyway, I had it down here because I'm rearranging some things in the layout and stuff I've got. And I noticed this app in my iPad that outside of using it for a TV, and then when I get up and speak and teach, I use it for like my notes and stuff. So outside of that, that's the only thing this thing has been used for in 2 or 3 years. And I noticed I had this app in there that I haven't played with and seen in forever. And I said, oh, Boss Jack. What is that, Boss Jack? I recognize that. And then I open it, and lo and behold, what do I see? All of these old TW3 files that we used to use. Remember that when Miss Lindsay was on the show? Had her, and there's, of course, that's Reagan's intro. And, of course, Chris, or when he was on the show, we would have that. So we had all of these sort of like bumper music and stuff, and I have been playing with it for the last half hour and getting nothing done. And it just reminds me, when you're a new musician, you get a new toy. Sometimes you overdo things. I always talk about, I'm a huge audiophile, and I love music, and I love recording, and I love the whole apparatus of the record industry as far as how things, not the business end of it, but just the actual mechanics of how things were recorded back in the day. I love microphones, audio processing, all of that stuff. And so I always tell people when digital came about in the 80s, that's why the sound changed so much. There is a slot, 50s, 60s, 70s, just raw energy, putting as much music to tape as you could without distortion. And then we got in the 80s and the digital thing came about. And one instrument, the Yamaha DX7, was the sound engine for 90% of all pop music. Everything you heard from pop, rock, everything. We could do an entire show of the top 10, 100 songs of the entire 80s from like around 84 up. And it all came from the Yamaha DX7. and specifically 2 or 3 different producers, one of which was David Foster, and he used that instrument relentless. And the way he recorded, the doubling effects that he had, and all of the recording techniques. Said all that to say, when technology comes about, it reminds me where we're at with AI right now. It's overdone because you're trying to learn your craft. So some people like yours truly here, when I hear a pop song from the 80s, it just brings back as much nostalgia as one thing could do. I mean, it's just like a warm blanket over my soul. My kids, on the other hand, and other people, they just laugh. Dad, God, oh man, I can't believe, it's just buried in reverb and effects and this and that and the other. And true, but back then when digital recording was just coming about, and you didn't have to worry about how many tracks you had anymore. There's only 24, 36 tracks, or 32 tracks, or 48 tracks, or, however many tracks you had, and you only had so many. And then you also had to worry about fidelity because you couldn't bounce tracks but so often, or you start losing fidelity. It starts, you start losing the quality. When digital came about, and you literally could take the lead vocal like, Mutt Lange did in Def Leppard and stack it 72 times and it not cost you any fidelity, and you had as many tracks as you want, well, then it was a game changer. That's where we're at with AI and digital marketing today. We're still trying to learn our craft. We're still trying to do things in a way that's just not so hand-fisted. But this technology is new, so we're having to learn it. So when I looked at this this iPad today and started playing with it, I was like, yeah, several years ago when I got into podcasting, I was just had all these gimmicky toys, didn't know how to use it, didn't know when to use it. And it was just like a kid in a candy store. Yes, I probably overindulged. I overindulged way too much, to the chagrin of,
we are not wearing our,
Lindsay. So I had that on sample forever. And those who have listened to the podcast and remember the show from those days, remember that episode and that outtake that just was hysterical. So what does that all mean, Terry? Well, as much as technology changes and as much as you hear me advocate on the show AI and all of the various digital components and electronic things and where we're at, there are some things that are just tried and true, that no matter how much technology changes, people are people. We are all the same. And so today I just want to get down and dirty to, some principles when it comes to cold marketing that just does not change. Now, the means, the method, the mechanism, what we use, the mechanics and the way we use them, yes, they become more sophisticated. Yes, we can use them in a higher, more congruent way. But as far as the principles underlying it, and what we need to do and how we need to do it, it's as old as time. Okay. And you've heard me say this on the show. You've heard me allude to this before, but in episode 629, when we're talking about cold marketing to a demographically filtered list, because that's what we're going to talk about today, the different ways that you can market to a list of leads and the power. And here's the thing. The reason I like getting a data list, okay, because you'll see all these guys, talk about, create this content, create this blog, create this podcast, create this YouTube video. And then you get excited because you see all of these. Saw the top 100 income earners on YouTube yesterday. I was watching this video that just came out. It's published in 2025. Oh, and the money is just unreal. I mean, one of them was making over $850 million a year. One YouTube creator. So the money's out there. But the likelihood of being able to be entertaining enough and creative enough to create content that would drive that kind of traffic, most people don't have. I mean, if you're just being honest. It is. And if you are listening to this podcast, more than likely you're a business owner. And more than likely you're doing what you love to do. That's why you're doing it. The reason you took a risk on yourself, the reason you're not working for the man 9 to 5, the reason you started your own 9 to 5 is because you wanted to be the man rather than work for the man. And so you're pursuing your passion right now. And so your passion might not include being a writer, being a YouTuber, being a podcaster. Maybe it does. Maybe. But at the end of the day, you went to culinary school to cook. You went to law school to practice law. You went to medical school to become, a medical doctor or exercise some sort of, discipline in that field. So how can you grow your business and not stretch your ability to just stay sane and stay on top of your game and grow the business? Well, one of the things I have found, it doesn't put a lot of pressure. And one of the reasons I've been able to etch out some semblance of success in the last, going on since 2008, it's not that I've got the largest podcast by no means. Most of my friends that I know and work with and have been able to have the privilege to meet, way bigger shows. And it's definitely not because the YouTube channel is huge. I mean, we literally only got about, 2,400 subscribers. Super small when it comes to, how many most of the big influencers on YouTube have. It has nothing to do with the size of my channel or the size of downloads. It's who I'm strategically targeting and getting real detailed in how I built that list. My list is not built because I was this super entertaining person that drew a crowd and then they subscribed. Now, I do have some of that, but not a lot of that. More so is I strategically pick the people that are on my list. I premeditated targeting them before they ever opted into me. I went after them because they fit certain demographical filters, certain interest filters. And so I was able to target them. Okay. And I was able to target them either through text, email. Maybe I sent out a voicemail drop. Maybe I created that list and then cross-referenced it through social media to make what's called a smart list on social media. And there's ways you can do that. And so then what happens is I have a demographical filter is appropriate, and then I cross-reference it with interest filters that social media will provide. Then all of a sudden, man, I can take 10,000 people, load it into, let me give you an example how that works. Let's say I want to target 10,000 people in the upstate of South Carolina that make between, say, $50,000 and $100,000 a year. They have a FICO score, that is their credit score is, say, above 700. They're all homeowners, okay? And their age group is between the ages of 40 and, let's say, 65. Okay. So now I have got the target demographical audience that I want. However, what I don't know about that audience is, what are they interested in? What are they interested in? Don't know. But you know who does know? A guy named Mark Zuckerberg. That's his whole shtick. That's why he's worth billions, is because not only does he have people's demographical filters, but he has their psychological filters, their interest filters as well. So I take that list and then I go over and I create an ad with a smart list. So I upload it as a smart list, but then I add some filters using social media. And what I do there is I say, out of this list, I also want to target people that are interested in, and maybe I name a sports team, or maybe I name a political party, or maybe I name a Christian author or a music band or whatever it might be. So now, not only do I have the right age, income of people that would maybe find rapport with me because we come from the same time period, same region of the country. I know because their credit and their income, they're going to be able to afford what it is I'm trying to pitch. So I got all that taken care of. They're pre-qualified. But now, because I know that maybe they're Braves fans and they listen to this particular Christian author or speaker, and they're interested in this, and this over here. I know they're entrepreneur minded. I know they're maybe even self-employed or interested in self-employment or self-actualization, things that are improving of themselves. So now I've got their demographical filters, and I know they're of this particular type. So what does that say? Now, because I know exactly who I'm talking to, and it might have took that list from 10,000 people down to really only 2,500 people. I don't care. Now I am targeting that 2,500 people with an ad that's going to be talking about specific things that folks that are interested in what they're interested in would be interested in. And I know that I'm talking to people that if I get their attention if I get their attention, they can afford to move forward in what I'm offering. So that is why demographical filters are huge, and then how you can use them through these social media platforms as well. There is a framework that has been talked about forever about how it's, you have to touch people 6 times, as they say, 6 different times for a person to make a decision. You've heard that. Most people don't buy the first time they see your offer. In fact, studies have shown, as the literature shows, that it takes at least 6 touches before a prospect truly considers your product or service. Now, the psychological basis for this is what's called the exposure effect. People tend to develop a preference for things that they are repeatedly exposed to. So I want to give you a 6-touch approach that will work and why it will work. Touch number 1 should be the initial awareness. So this is the first contact, and it disrupts the pattern in which your prospect is in. So maybe you send out a text message, a cold email, or social media ad, or a direct mail piece. So that's what you're doing. And your objective in that is to get their attention by standing out in a way that disrupts their normal thought pattern. So if I know my target audience demographical filters, that their age, income, location, and all that, I can pick up a little bit about the vibe of the area and the attitudes towards certain things. And then what I want to do is say something in a very provocative, compelling way, at least get their attention. Because I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm not trying. And that's why, I always joke, salespeople make terrible marketers because they're trying to sell. That's all they want to do. Sell, 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 sell. And the way you turn a salesman into a marketer is convince them that what they sell first is not the product, but the next step. You teach them all you're wanting to do in your sales pitch here is sell them on moving to the next step, which has nothing to do with your product. We're not even bringing that up yet. Okay. So the objective, get their attention by standing out in a way that disrupts their normal thought pattern. The principle here, the psychological principle, is the selective attention bias. People filter out most marketing messages, but unexpected or highly relevant messages break through the mental noise. Okay. So when I'm developing my message, when I'm putting together a message that's going to be in that first opening salvo, that first piece that they see by me, I've got to understand that they have a bias, and people filter out marketing messages. But if I can become unexpected, if what I say is unexpected, highly relevant, it will break. So for instance, just I am marketing a church. Okay. And I'm going after people, and I know that, the numbers are 90% of people don't even go to church no more, especially in a specific area. You can pull these studies. So if people aren't church and you're marketing that you want to get people to come visit your church, then I'm not going to go talk about the greatness of my church, because that's a marketing thing that they're not going to believe. What I could say is most churches sucks, and ours might as well. Here's why. All of a sudden, I have said something so out in left field that they're not going to expect. I'm making a joke out of it. The good book says to agree with your enemy. So rather than putting them in a defensive position, I'm actually pulling them in. I'm saying something that we both can agree on, because let's face it, folks, no matter what you do, if you're most car salesmen suck. Now you say, well, what, you're telling me to talk bad about myself? No, I'm saying, join the conversation that mentally people are already having in their head. Pull them in. You're disrupting their. Why would, it would be so disruptive to get a marketing piece from a business, a school, or church that says something negative or sort of already validates the attitude that a lot of people already have. They're going to perk up and say, okay, what's this guy talking about? At least it's going to get their attention. So if I send out a text, it could be like, hey, first name, if I could show you a way to solve the problem point in just a few minutes, would it even be worth your time of opening this? That could be a way. Or if I could send out an email, you might not known me yet, but I've helped number of people in the city and blah, 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 and services. Want to see if it works for you. Now, those are just some cold asking questions, direct mail, a bold, visually striking. I like, I would, rather than I would actually be a little even more bold. I think in today's noisy world, in today's jaded, cynical society, you've almost got to do something. And the thing that I don't see a lot of people doing in today's world and society is just agreeing with the negativity about their own thing. If you can do that and you come from that thing, you're at least you're going to earn the right for the next sentence. And that's all I'm wanting. Touch number 2 is credibility. Why they should care and trust you. So the next thing, if I get them to at least open that piece, read the piece, that the next piece I send out needs to offer credibility. So that first email, that first text, that first social media post, I'm just saying something with my brand on it that sort of validates maybe an attitude they already have, and it breaks the disruption, because what I'm trying to do is set myself apart from everybody that's become an apologist for this product or business or service or whatever. I'm trying to get away from them. I don't want to be lumped in with them, because if I'm lumped in with them, I'm just part of the noise. But if I'm over here saying, yeah, churches do suck. I'm pastor so-and-so from such and such, and let me tell you, churches suck. That is going to at least get even people that disagree with that message. They're church-going people. They advocate, faith. They advocate this and that and the other. They're at least going to pay attention. It's like, okay, what is this guy talking about? Why is, they're going to find out, am I going after someone? Am I criticizing something? What is the deal? So I've got everybody's attention when I, restaurants in this area suck. Most Mexican restaurants, most Italian, most whatever, just go right into it. The second piece they send from me is credibility. Why they should care and trust me. So channel options might be a follow-up email, video testimonials, case studies, social proof for retargeting. So if they open that, I can put a little mechanism in there and say, okay, everybody that opened this piece, everybody clicked on this piece, everybody, then send them this. So now they're getting second thing. The objective there is to show them that not just some random marketer, but someone who delivers results. So if my first piece was to disrupt the pattern, the second piece is to bring credibility. Now, the psychological principle here is social proof. People trust others' experiences other than company claims. So if just going along with that same theme, if I said such and such, or this stinks, or these suck, or whatever I said, maybe I send out the next piece they see is a review from someone that says, hey, I used to think every church, every restaurant, every whatever stunk and it was no good and blah, blah, blah. And then I met Terry. And when I met Terry, he showed me blah, 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 blah. And so maybe I've got a review from someone that's of high credibility, and that's all they say. Go to such and such and experience the difference. So those are some ways that you can, but that your second touch is just to develop credibility. First touch, I want to disrupt the pattern. Second touch, I want to establish credibility. Third touch is where I then want to try to engage them. Okay. If they clicked on something, if they read something, if they opened something, I'm going to be able to trace all of that. And then the third touch I'm going to be able to do is send them a text, a voice, or call them out. And by the way, I'm going to use a different channel every time. The first exposure they might have had from me showed up in their news feed on social media. When they clicked on that, the second might have been a text. The third might have been an email and a text and a call. I don't know. But you got to break it up. Because what I'm trying to do is come at them holistically. How do you do that? That's the value. And that's why you want a data list. Because see, when I just sent up a social media ad, well, I don't have any of that information. I don't know their name, number, email address. I don't know anything about them. But if I start with knowing everything about them and create a smart list to target on social media, then not only am I targeting them on there first, and it's a non-intrusive way to start out the conversation, but now I can send them a text. Now I can send them an email. Now all of a sudden something shows up on their voicemail and there's a voicemail drop. And that's where That third touch is where I'm wanting to get them to respond. I want to interact. I want them to have a conversation with me. I want them to book an appointment. I want something. So the objective here is just to encourage a micro commitment to increase their psychological investment in this process. That's all I want. Maybe I want to invite them to a webinar. And this webinar promises if everybody that comes to this webinar is going to walk away with knowing how to do this, they're going to know how to do this, they're going to know how to do this, they're going to have this value for investing 10 minutes on this webinar here that's happening tonight at 8 p.m. And all I want them to do is come to the webinar. Just a micro commitment. Not trying to get them to sell anything or buy anything, not trying to get them to do anything. But if you'll just come, invest some time now, invest the conversation. Everybody that books an appointment for tomorrow, I'm going to give them this, this, and this. This is the value you're going to walk away from this engagement. That's all I'm trying to do. That is touch number 3. Now, the psychological principle here is commitment and consistency. Once someone engages, they're more likely to follow through. It's just the numbers bear that out. So once I can get them to engage, commit, and I've already consistently got some micro commitments out of them. And this is the third time. People new marketers would come on, they'd see how we teach how to build funnels. And our funnels would have like 4 or 5 videos sometimes. And the videos wasn't but a minute long. And I would, every time, I would see these new guys just try to take all of this video content, bundle it all together, make it one long 15-minute video, throw it on one page, and that'd be it. And their click-through, their conversion on that just stunk. And they never understood why. And I said, there's a real psychological reason why I don't start pitching them everything right up front on the first page. It overwhelms people. And the other thing is, I need to leverage this thing in a lot of people, and we all have it, that once you get so far down a rabbit hole, you just sort of want to sit through. You just want to, in for a penny, in for a pound. Well, now I've already opened up 3 of these. I've read this. I got to figure out what this is about. It's easier to quit something when, if I gave you a whole book right on the, you see this whole book, I'm not even going to read that. But if I give you a little pamphlet, and that little pamphlet gets you a little excited, and so you go over to this next thing to find this out, and then you read 2 or 3 pages, and that 2 or 3 pages turns into, all of a sudden I want the entire book. It's the same principle. So touch number 3 is just really getting them to engage. Touch number 4, here again, once they've seen an ad, they responded to it, they've got a follow-up to show credibility, and then they've gotten touched again to say, hey, why don't you book an appointment, come to this webinar, jump on this phone call, you got time to talk, something. I'm just trying to do something. Touch number 4 is authority, positioning yourself as an expert. Now, this is where I send out a personal email, I send another webinar, an industry report, a blog post, what someone else, and the objective here is to establish myself as, there are a lot of people that do what I do, but here's what makes me different. I don't want to say that. I don't ever want to tell them that. I don't want to ever use words to communicate that. I want to use other people's words, other situations, other proof, other things that they can look at, that they're going to come to that conclusion. I have failed if I have to tell people how smart I am, or how competent I am, or how, whatever I am, whatever I'm trying to convey to establish authority. If I have to literally say it, I have not done due diligence and done, a good job in conveying that through showing them what other people's results and what other people are saying, and what other people, they see the body of work and content from other people, that I don't have to say it. And what this does is it creates authority bias. People are more likely to trust those that they perceive as experts. And this gets into branding. There's 2 sides to every coin. I've been, for those who follow this podcast and watch this show for years, know that I show up in a t-shirt and shorts. I'm going to the gym, or come back from the gym. You never really see me a lot of times in a suit and tie. That's just not my style. I'm relaxed. I'm working from home. I'm coming and going. You see me as I'm just lounging around. However, I was on the phone today with a marketer, been in business 20 some odd years, from Nicaragua. And does business in South America and doing business in North America, great designer. And the first thing he said is, wow, man, your studio is sharp and you sound and it looks and da-da-da-da-da. And he got to referencing some other things. Well, that's branding. My branding should communicate that I care about my product, I care about my service, I care about what I do, that while I might be casual in dress and attitude, I am of the highest commitment and caliber when it comes to delivery of products, goods, and services.
Stay tuned for some value-packed information right after this.
Become an Elite TW3 member today and gain access to our mastermind group.
The way you get into things is, for someone like me, it's great to be around.
Terry, you have made a huge impact in my life. I'm so grateful that God has brought you into my life.
You're the genuine article. You live what you talk about.
Right now, Terry, I am so inspired after listening to you for the last 25, 30 minutes. You got me so jazzed up.
I'm still blown away by your story because with that, you just bring so much experience.
When I think of Terry Wilson, I think about the comeback kid.
Oh, I think today is just demoed exactly the brilliance that you share.
I truly believe the only way to go to the next level is to grow to the next level.
Take your personal growth to the next level by joining the TW3 Mastermind Group today.
When words are not enough to really show your heart.
When you want to send more than just words, send your best, send your blessing, send a gift that speaks to the heart.
Flower shop. When feelings need demonstrated right from.
Go to Blessed Blooms Flower Shop and Gifts.com to have Amy design a special message, gift, or arrangement for you today.
Flower shop. Blessed blooms.
Give a gift that speaks to the heart. From flowers to specialized gifts.
Blessed blooms flower shop and gifts.
Call today, 864-702-3307. That's 864-702-3307.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com, the home of TW3.
Man, that dude is crazy.
So it's sort of like putting velvet around the brick. If I come buttoned up all the time, real starchy suit and tie, all business, that's just not me. I like a more relaxed atmosphere. But I don't want anybody to confuse my relaxed, disposition as just some sort of lackadaisical, que sera, sera, whatever will be type of work. You're going to get the best of marketing material, services, sites, whatever you get from me, it's going to be top notch. Doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. Doesn't mean I don't send out an email too quick with bad grammar and spelling. But to the extent that I can represent the brand that I've built over the years in the highest fashion, that goes to establish expertise. Touch number 4 should be your whole mindset is when I touch them again, this fourth time through text, email, social media marketing, whatever I'm sending, whatever content I'm getting in, whatever channel it goes out, it is there for one purpose only, to really establish my authority. Now, touch number 4 is urgency. People don't do anything until they have to. Even the things that people want to do, they don't do until they have to. That's just human nature. That doesn't make people lazy. You're the same way. I'm the same way. We're all the same way. And we're this way. Why? Because we're busy. We're overwhelmed. We live in a society that has, you're at 10 all the time. And so the only way anything gets done is when it has to. So you have to create a reason to act now. So you need to send out limited time discounts. Act today for today and tomorrow up until 5 p.m. tomorrow. Anybody that goes to leadlist.com or terrywilson3.com/lead list, for instance, go to terrywilson3.com/lead list. Get any list, any data list, any demographically filtered data list from me on that page, and you can get it for 30% off just by putting LL30 in the discount code. LL30 for 30% off. But that ends tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Now, that's a real deal, by the way. You can do that. But the other thing is, the reason I do that and don't do it all the time is because if you can get that discount all the time, why would you act now? So there's a reason why there's a time limit on it. You know, it's just common sense. You got to do that. But that's what Touch 5 is all about. It's letting people know, hey, we can't afford to do this forever. We'd go out of business if we did this all the time. But if you'll do it right now, or you'll do it, whatever time needs, you can get them to move from interest to action. Interest to action. I'm interested in losing weight. I'm interested in being in shape. But until I get off the couch and go to the gym, it's just thoughts. I read something the other day. It said the heaviest thing in a gym, and y'all probably heard this, I don't know. The heaviest thing in a gym is the front door. You can open that front door. 90% of your workout is already complete. Now, the psychological principle here in touch number 5, which is creating urgency, is loss aversion. There is a built-in mechanism that we are all psychologically predisposed to, which is that we are motivated by avoiding loss. I mean, how many times have you lost out on a deal and it just eats you alive? Well, other people are the same way. And so that touch number 5 that you're giving people needs to present that to them as well. And 6, and finally, the final touch for, grabbing a hold of someone, getting their attention, is personal connection, that humanizing experience, making them really feel good about the business they're doing and have chosen to do with you. And this is one-on-one phone call, one-on-one consultation, and in-person visit. Let's go get coffee. Let's jump on a call real quick. Do you have time for a Zoom call? The objective here is to convert that lead into a customer by making the offer feel personalized. Every high-ticket deal I can sell, $500,000 product, without talking to someone. But there's high-end $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 coaching clients. To close that kind of business, you better believe you better be talking to them one-on-one. I mean, there's no way not to. I don't care if you're Tony Robbins and you got the biggest brand, the biggest business, and everybody knows you. I've read by him, but his high-ticket customers, he has got to, either him or somebody in his business is well connected, has got to make a personal connection. People don't drop that kind of cash, just because they saw a sales page that was very compelling. The psychological principle here is one called reciprocity. When you offer something of value, people feel compelled to return the favor. They just do. So if I can get on the phone with someone and give them more value than what they bargained for, because now they got real time, they're just not dealing with an AI bot. They're not just dealing with a sales page. They're just not watching a video, but they're talking to me personally. The likelihood of not only me closing the deal, but also me closing a higher end deal, not only closing a higher end deal, but me closing quality business that'll be on the books for a long time, and business I'll enjoy having. That all exponentially goes up by that personal touch in touch 6. So that's the framework, that six touches. And this can be used in church. It can be used in business. It can be used in school. It doesn't matter. But if you want anybody to go from out here in the highways and byways and just living their life to being someone that is on your book of business, they're not only clients of yours, but borderline friends of yours now, to take them from out there in the outer courts into the holies of holies, the inner courts. There's a 6-step process. 6, that initial awareness they have, touch number 1, establishing credibility, touch number 2, engagement, touch number 3, touch number 4, developing authority, touch number 5, creating urgency, and touch number 6, personal connection. Now, you can do all of that by having a data list. And we offer data list here, and you need to go get the data list. And you say, well, I don't know what I could do with a data list. Well, let me just give you some categories real quick. Do you sell high ticket products? Do you sell high ticket products? Do you sell homes? Do you sell cars? Do you sell things that people have to finance? Well, understanding people's credit rating, understanding people's income rating, understanding people's financial health, understanding people's location is going to go a long way in you being able to close more business. Yes, you can throw a video up on the internet. You can go to TikTok. You can do this. You can do that. But you're shotgunning it out there, and you're depending on the algorithms and you being sophisticated enough to create content to be able to hack that algorithm to bring you, hopefully, traffic that not only is interested, first you got to get interested, but then can do something about it. When you have a demographically filtered scrub data list, and then I know by virtue of, if they're on this list, that means they make X amount of, you might order a list of, say, 1,000 people, and I want everybody on that list to have a 750 FICO score, high credit rating, almost perfect. 800 is the highest you can get. They make $150,000 a year, and they own homes, and they're in Greenville, South Carolina. Well, I know the county. I know it's high income, high credit rating. I'm dealing with people I don't have to travel far to get to. So already they can do something if they're interested. And then it's just a matter of getting them interested. That goes a long way. And you can use multiple channels. You can text them, email them, phone call, direct mail them. You can use that 6-step strategy we just talked about and approach them in a high ticket. So if you've got that, you can sell high ticket stuff. You can sell homeowner specific campaigns for home services. If I know they own a home and I know they make this certain amount of income, then I'm not wasting my time trying to market my home services to people that can afford it. If I sell, let's say, for instance, age-based products and services, like life insurance, retirement planning, health services, beauty products, well, just by virtue of knowing their age, it's going to go a long way. And then also knowing that they can afford it. And maybe I sell something that's location-based. It's only for, maybe I have a gym, maybe I'm a realtor, maybe I'm a restaurant. Maybe I'm a local business owner with a brick and mortar. Well, I don't want to be marketing to people on the internet. That's the World Wide Web. And I definitely don't want to be marketing to people, even in the newspaper or the radio station that has this broad reach of people, hundreds of miles. That's great. I want people in a 10-mile, 20-mile radius of my place that fit this. That's the power of having a demographically filtered, scrubbed data list, because now they can afford it. I got their credit rating. I got their income, but I also got their location. I only want people in the 29349 zip code. Boom. That's powerful. Powerful. Maybe you're looking for people that are first-time buyers. And it's ideal if you've got an e-commerce, insurance, coaching business, online course, but you're looking for people that they're just the first-time buyer. They don't own a home. They're renters, but they're high-income people, and they live in a certain area. Well, if you can move them over to, they're going to be homeowners at some point, then I know if they're going to be buying homes, what else they're going to be buying. Well, they're going to have to be buying insurance. They're going to have to be buying furniture. They're going to have to be buying all different types of stuff that goes along with buying a home moves a whole lot of other different products, goods, and services along with it. It's a huge mover, economic mover. So that's the value of having that. And then if they're high net worth individuals, maybe I've got luxury real estate investment funds, high-end consulting and stuff like that, high-end business coaching. I want people of high net worth. If I'm offering that kind of stuff, I've got that. And then I just can touch them. And so when you have this data list, not only you got these demographical filters, but you also have a means and a method to reach them. I've got their personal cell. I got their personal email address. I got their physical address. And because I have all of that, I can also cross-reference it on social media and create a smart list there. So you can use the framework we just showed and go specifically after who you're looking for. I'm telling you, I'm not poo-pooing podcasting. I am a podcaster. I'm not poo-pooing getting on YouTube, TikTok, all that. Do it. But I'm telling you what, you can stink at all that stuff and still build a 6-7 figure business simply by knowing who you're going after. I don't have to be the most entertaining person in the world. I don't have to have the greatest following in the world. I don't have to have all of these huge numbers that all of these top TikTokers and YouTubers and online social media influencers have if I know specifically who I'm going after. Because once I know that, I know the method and the message, the method to go after them with and the message to use that would compel interest. And then I've got this framework. I'm telling you, you can't lose with the tools we use here at TW3. Call me, TerryWilson3.com. You can go to 864-507-9696. That's 864-507-9696. Book an appointment. I can show you how we can take that lead list and put together an entire marketing campaign that sends out emails, text, cold calls, voicemail drops, social media, everything you need, and get you in front of people that need, want, desire, and can afford what it is you offer. That's the power of having all of this content and having all of these tools to be able to reach these people. This is episode 629. If you need us, call us. We'd love to help you and talk to you. Until next time, talk to you later.
Since 2008, Terry has helped thousands of small business owners and entrepreneurs discover, develop, and monetize their value with one simple message: you are worth more.